8 days, 192 hours, 11,520 minutes. That's how long a little girl had been missing, gone without a trace. Her parents searched every street, every corner, and every shadow, desperate for any clue. Friends, neighbors, and volunteers joined, but hope was slipping away with each passing day. And then, a German shepherd named Rex arrived. No one knew that this loyal canine, with a nose sharper than any human's, would follow a trail that others couldn't see. No one knew that his instincts would lead to a basement hiding a secret so shocking it would leave the entire community gasping. In a story of fear, hope, and unwavering loyalty, one dog's courage would prove that even in the darkest times, heroes exist, sometimes with 4 legs, a wagging tail, and a heart bigger than most humans. It started like any ordinary day. Little Mia, an 8-year-old with bright eyes and an infectious laugh, had waved goodbye to her parents as she walked to a friend's house just a few blocks away. By evening, however, she hadn't returned. Her parents, Sarah and Tom, called neighbors, friends, and even local shops, but no one had seen her. Anxiety turned quickly into panic. Every unanswered phone call, every empty street corner, made the hours feel heavier, darker, and more unbearable. News of her disappearance spread through the neighborhood like wildfire. Volunteers formed search parties, posters went up on every street lamp, and social media buzzed with desperate pleas. Each day that passed without a sign of Mia crushed the family's hope further. The community came together in fear and prayer, but after 7 long days, exhaustion and despair began to set in. How could a child simply vanish? Where could she possibly be? It was in this moment of deep uncertainty that the authorities decided to bring in a highly trained canine, a German shepherd named Rex, whose instincts and loyalty could detect what humans could not. The family clung to a thread of hope, praying that Rex might finally provide the breakthrough they so desperately needed. The morning sun barely pierced the mist as Rex and his handler, Officer Daniels, arrived at the neighborhood. Rex, a sleek black and tan German shepherd, stood alert beside Daniels, his ears twitching at every sound, his nose already sniffing the air. The search team had canvassed every street, alley, and vacant lot, but so far, no clues had surfaced. Volunteers handed out flyers while the police coordinated the search, yet the missing girl's trail seemed to vanish into thin air. Rex, however, was different. Years of training had honed his instincts to perfection. He didn't just follow a scent, he analyzed it, distinguishing human trails from the countless other smells in the environment. Officer Daniels knelt beside him, whispering commands softly, but it was clear Rex was in charge. He sniffed, circled, and suddenly froze, ears pricked. He barked once, sharply, and turned toward a nearby street. The team followed, moving cautiously but with renewed hope. Volunteers whispered in awe, realizing that this dog might be their best chance of finding Mia alive. With every step Rex took, the tension in the air thickened. He wasn't just a search dog. He was a beacon of hope, a living promise that even in the darkest moments, a miracle could still happen. And as Rex led the team deeper into the quiet streets, no one knew that the next discovery would shock everyone. Rex's paws moved with precision, his nose close to the ground as he sniffed the faint trail only he could detect. Officer Daniels followed closely, guiding the search team but letting the dog take the lead. Every so often, Rex paused, his body tense, ears swiveling, then continued forward with renewed focus. The trail led them through winding alleys, across quiet streets, and past abandoned lots where shadows clung to the corners. Volunteers whispered in hushed awe, realizing that Rex was moving with purpose. He wasn't just wandering, he was tracking. After several blocks, Rex suddenly stopped outside a nondescript house. It was a familiar place to the neighbors, one that no one suspected. Rex barked and scratched at the side door before turning to Daniels, growling low, a warning in his eyes. Officer Daniels frowned. Something about the dog's behavior was different. He wasn't just alert, he was insistent. He barked again, more urgently, as if telling them, "This is it. This is where she is." The team exchanged nervous glances. Could it really be possible that Mia had been here all along? The thought sent a chill down their spines. What they would soon discover inside the basement would shock the entire neighborhood. The team approached the house cautiously. It was a modest, unassuming home, one that blended seamlessly with the rest of the quiet street. To the neighbors, it was familiar, a place they had waved to, smiled at, even trusted. Now, it was the center of fear. Rex's growl deepened as he circled the perimeter, his nose twitching toward the basement door. Officer Daniels motioned for the others to hold back. Every instinct told him that this was where Mia's trail ended. The homeowner, a man who had always seemed polite and friendly, stepped out when he saw the search team approaching. His face shifted from surprise to unease as Rex barked insistently, refusing to back down. Officer Daniels spoke firmly. "We have reason to believe a child may be inside your basement. We need to check immediately." The man stammered, pretending confusion, but Rex's behavior left no room for doubt. His nose remained fixed on the door, his growls low but steady, his posture unwavering. Every officer on the team recognized the dog's instincts. They were rarely wrong. As the basement door creaked open, a chilling silence fell over the group. What lay beyond that door would finally explain 8 days of fear, desperation, and unanswered questions. And at the center of it all was Rex, the dog who refused to be ignored. The basement door swung open slowly, revealing a dark, musty space filled with shadows and the faint smell of dampness. Rex's ears remained pricked, his body tense, as he padded carefully inside. Officer Daniels followed, flashlight cutting through the gloom. Then, a small voice called out from the corner. "Help, please." Rex froze for a moment, then barked excitedly and ran toward the sound. There, huddled in a dark corner, was Mia, her clothes dirty, hair tangled, but her eyes wide with hope and fear. She clung to a tattered blanket, shaking but alive. The officers quickly moved in, lifting her into safety while the neighbor was restrained. Mia's parents rushed forward, tears streaming down their faces as they embraced their daughter tightly. "We thought we'd lost you," Sarah whispered, holding her child as if never to let go again. Rex stayed by Mia's side, tail wagging gently, his eyes scanning for any remaining danger. The dog had followed a scent that led them straight to the source, ignoring distractions, weather, and exhaustion. It was a moment of pure relief, gratitude, and awe. The community had been holding its breath for 8 days, and now hope had returned, delivered by the loyalty and courage of one extraordinary German shepherd. Even amidst fear and shock, everyone recognized the truth. Without Rex, Mia might never have been found alive. Word spread quickly through the neighborhood. Mia had been found alive, hidden in the basement of a house no one had suspected. Relief was mixed with disbelief. How could someone they trusted commit such a cruel act? Neighbors gathered outside the home, their faces pale with shock. Whispers filled the air, questions about the neighbors' motives, how long this had been planned, and how no one had noticed anything amiss. Families held their children closer, realizing how fragile safety could be, even in the place they called home. Sarah and Tom, still clutching Mia, thanked each officer and volunteer repeatedly. "We owe our lives to all of you, and especially Rex," Sarah said, tears streaming down her face. Rex sat calmly nearby, alert but relaxed, as the police arrested the neighbor and took him away. The dog had not only found Mia, but he had also exposed a betrayal that shocked the entire community. The neighbors, once smiling and unsuspecting, now looked at their surroundings with new awareness. It was a harsh reminder that danger could hide behind familiar doors, and that sometimes heroes came in unexpected forms. By the end of the day, everyone agreed on one thing. Mia's survival was a miracle, and Rex, the German shepherd, was the hero who made it possible. As the sun began to set, the tension in the neighborhood slowly transformed into relief and gratitude. Mia, now safe in her parents' arms, smiled weakly at Rex, the dog who had guided the search team to her. Sarah knelt beside Rex, gently stroking his head. "You saved my daughter," she whispered, her voice breaking with emotion. "I don't know how we can ever thank you enough." Officer Daniels chuckled softly, patting Rex's back. He doesn't need thanks. He just does his job. But today, he did more than that. He saved a life. Neighbors, volunteers, and even local media gathered to witness the extraordinary heroism of the German Shepherd. Children clapped, some mimicking the dog's bark in playful excitement. Adults marveled at his calm, brave demeanor, realizing that this loyal animal had risked everything to protect someone he had never met before. The scene was heartwarming. Mia hugged Rex gently. David, a close family friend, knelt to thank the dog personally, and the community slowly came together, applauding and celebrating not just the rescue, but the bond between humans and their four-legged protectors. In that moment, Rex was more than a search dog. He was a symbol of hope, courage, and loyalty. A silent hero whose actions spoke louder than words ever could. As the neighborhood slowly returned to normal, the story of Mia's rescue left a lasting impression on everyone who witnessed it. People realized that true heroism doesn't always wear a uniform or carry a badge. Sometimes it comes on four legs, with sharp instincts, a loyal heart, and unwavering courage. Mia's parents, still holding her close, reflected on how fragile life can be and how much we rely on the unseen guardians around us. Rex taught us something important, Sarah said softly. That vigilance, loyalty, and love can save lives in ways we never imagined. Officer Daniels nodded. Dogs like Rex remind us that even in the darkest moments, hope can appear unexpectedly. They don't hesitate, they don't doubt, and they act with courage when it matters most. The community, once shaken by fear and betrayal, began to heal. They honored Rex's heroism, not just as a dog, but as a symbol of resilience and protection. People spoke of the importance of trust, vigilance, and gratitude, lessons that would stay with them long after the excitement faded. And as for Rex, he didn't need applause or recognition. His reward was knowing that a little girl was safe, that a family's heartbreak had turned into joy, and that his instincts had made a difference in the world. The moral was clear. Heroes come in many forms, sometimes silent, sometimes unexpected, and sometimes with four paws and a heart bigger than most humans. That day, the neighborhood learned a lesson that words alone could never capture. Courage and loyalty often come in forms we least expect, sometimes in a dog with sharp instincts, unwavering focus, and a heart full of devotion. Mia returned home, safe and smiling, but the memory of Rex's bravery remained etched in every heart. Families hugged their children a little tighter, neighbors looked out for one another more closely, and the entire community carried a renewed sense of hope. Rex, lying quietly by Officer Daniels' side, had no need for recognition or praise. His heroism wasn't about fame. It was about love, instinct, and the silent promise to protect. Sometimes, the greatest heroes don't speak. They don't walk into the spotlight. They simply do what must be done, even when no one else notices, even when the world seems dark. And in the story of a little girl missing for 8 days, one German Shepherd proved that hope can arrive on four legs, that courage can be silent, and that loyalty can change everything. The world may forget the faces of heroes, but their deeds and their hearts remain forever.